Hello everyone, it is Erin Flito, and today I'm here with 10 types of mood trackers. So for me, I've done this video a couple different times, so I will try to link those in the description down below. But it's always one of the most popular videos that I do. So I'm going to go ahead and show you 10 more types of mood trackers so that you have an idea of what to include in your bullet journal setup. I know it's one of the favorite trackers of bullet journalers. I myself don't use mood trackers anymore, but these are some ideas that were floating around in my head. So let's go ahead and get started. The first kind of tracker that I wanted to include is a monthly everything. So it's like everything that encapsulates mood. So it has the mood, and you can put an emoji, you can put a sticker, you can put the word, whatever. So you can include your mood here. The next one is if anxiety is present in your life that day. So I've just done check marks and X's. Check mark is, of course, yes, you have anxiety that day. An X would be, no, you don't have anxiety that day. The next one is kind of a helpful tool is meditating. So did you meditate that day? A lot of these trackers have to do with like correlating things. So if you have anxiety and you meditate, does that help your overall rating? Which is why I include an AM rating and a PM rating in this particular tracker. The next one I have is word to describe your feelings. So do you have a bad mood and anxiety because you are suffering from some sort of perfectionism? Do you have social anxiety? Things like that. So giving a word to why you are feeling the way that you are feeling. And again, having an AM rating and a PM rating. So this is out of 5. You can see I have 6 boxes here. So 1 through 5, and then I have a space where you can write the actual number just in case you want to do some statistics towards the end of the month. So we have mood, anxiety, if you meditated, word to describe how you are feeling, what your mood was in the morning, and then in the evening. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do both AM and PM is because, like, say you meditated, say things picked up towards the end of the day. How did you end your day? Did you end your day on a good note, or did it just kind of get worse from there? So that is why I have everything included in the title of this type of tracker. So the next one is moon moods. So this is a very artistic version of a mood tracker. So one of the things that I see a lot of in the community is doing illustrations and then coloring in those illustrations. So I thought I would play around with that idea a little bit and do things with the different moon phases. So each phase is associated with a different mood. For example, we have a new moon, which is a blackout moon. So that would be anxious versus a full moon, which would be content. So each of the different phases has a different mood associated with it. So as you can see, I filled in a couple here, and I have 30 days worth. Of course, depending on how many days are in that month, you would add another one or take away some, depending on what month it is. So that is the idea behind this, is each phase is associated with a different mood, and then you would fill in each day. Number 3 is a habit plus mood botanicals. So I have 5 leaves associated with the botanical. And so each leaf is associated with a habit. So number 1 would be workout. Number 2 would be walk the dogs. Number 3 would be drinking water. Number 4 would be taking your medication. Number 5, stretching. Of course, these habits can be anything that you want them to be. And then the actual mood itself is associated with the color that you use to fill in your habits. So if you have a positive mood, it would be the darker one. If you have a negative mood, it would be the lighter one. You can obviously switch that around if that works better for you. But the idea is really to aim for at least doing one of your moods a day. That way you can also track your mood with it. If you didn't want to do it that way, you could also do the color of the actual botanical and then fill it in as you go. I chose to do the leaves of the botanicals just so that is encouraging you even more to do one of your habits. So I thought it would be a nice way to really kind of push yourself into doing the habits that you want to do. So that is the idea behind the habit and mood botanicals. Number 4 is mood outcomes. So one of the things that I think is really helpful is not necessarily what your mood is, but how do you use that mood to do other things. So if you are upset and you took it out on a loved one, how do you get out of that mentality, right? So how is your mood affecting other people, either positively or negatively, right? And how can you bring betterness to the world, right? So like, even if you're in a bad mood, is there something that you can do to rectify your outcome and change your mood around? So that's the idea behind this is happy you celebrated by eating cake. It's a very simple outcome, but one of the things is like, okay, so your mood is either higher, lower, maybe in between, but what is something that is a result of that mood? What is one of the outcomes of that mood? So that's one of the ideas behind this is not only thinking about, hey, this is what my mood is, but how am I affecting other people? How am I affecting myself based on that mood, right? You can also add some other columns on how to overcome that mood or something to that effect to make a better outcome for other people, for your effect on other people, for another effect on yourself. So that's the idea behind mood outcomes. Number 5 is daily mood details. So this is just getting a little bit more granular in thinking about your mood. So this would be like the header for the day. So I have a space for AM mood. I have a space for PM mood. I have a space for body mood. So like your physical mood and your mental mood. And then of course, I just added some extra stuff to the header over here, but kind of breaking down your mood a little bit more. Say you had a really good workout, but that does lead you to be physically exhausted, right? Like your body has a different mood than maybe your brain does. Like maybe you are in such a good mood, but you are physically exhausted because you had a good workout, but that workout helped your mood, right? So it's kind of associating different things because having one mood for the day isn't really realistic to me. So having different facets of your mood and why you feel the way that you feel may be a little bit more helpful in terms of adding some details on a daily basis. Number 6 isn't necessarily a tracker. It is more of like, how can you check into your mood? What are some questions that you can ask to really drill down into how you are feeling? I know it's like kind of easy to be like, oh, I'm in a bad mood today, but like kind of getting to the bottom of why and like, how would you describe it? And is your body feeling okay? Did you react to a trigger? Things like that. So there are 10 questions here. What describes your primary emotion? How would you describe that primary emotion? How does your body feel? What person, place, or thing might have caused that emotion? How did you react to that trigger? How will you respond after a breather? Have you taken care of your physical well-being? What is on your mind today? How can you feel calmer? Sorry, I couldn't read that word for a second. How can you feel calmer? And what are you grateful for today? So it's kind of an overall check-in, like, hey, what's going on with you, right? Like, why are you feeling the way that you're feeling? Is there some way that you can adapt to not feeling that way? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you looking after yourself? How can you change how you are feeling right now? So this is more for like if you're in kind of a bad mood, and then like kind of taking the steps to checking in with yourself and being like, how can I get sort of out of this bad mood? Number 7 is mood altering plans. So I don't know if plans is really the right term for it, but it's like, okay, so these are the things that are helpful for me when I am feeling a certain way to not feel that way anymore. So this is related to negative moods. So if I'm sad, give me a bag of nerd clusters and you'll make my day. Like I will feel so much better after some nerd clusters. If I'm overwhelmed, maybe I take a little breather, right? Maybe I do some meditation. Maybe I stretch things out. Who knows? But if you're overwhelmed, finding a certain practice that helps you get out of that overwhelmed state. If you're scared, I put paint in a safe place. Maybe it's just going to a safe place. I also included anxious, lighting a candle, maybe some aromatherapy, maybe taking a bath, right? Something to that effect. If you're hurt, I'm a person that likes to talk it out. Maybe not with the person that hurt me. Maybe I'm talking it out with my husband, who knows me better than anyone, so he can really help me when it comes to why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, and just really venting it out to that person. Tired, I put hot bath with scrubs. One of the things that I love to do is take a hot bath, but maybe if you're tired, you need to take a nap. Maybe you need to have ice cream, So these are things that like will really aid you if you're feeling a certain way to not even try to change how you're feeling, but how you are best able to cope with that feeling. So those are some ideas there. And you can list out a ton of different things, right? Like, oh, these are a ton of different things that typically make me feel better or typically help me cope with how I'm feeling. And just list off a bunch of things. That way you can always refer back to it instead of just like kind of spiraling. You can look at that spread and be like, oh yeah, I do really well after I take a bath. I just need to sit with some music on, take a bath, and I will feel so much better. So that's the idea behind mood altering plans. The next one is a habit mood scale. So this is associating with a mood with your specific habit. So after you did your workout, what was your mood rating? After I drank water, what was my mood? Like rating it on a scale of 1 to 10. After I took my medication, what was my mood rating? After I walked a certain amount of steps, how do I feel about me walking that amount of steps? For example, if my goal is 10K, or if my goal is 15K, or whatever your step goal may be, 5K is probably not going to cut it, and I'm going to feel a little bad about myself. But then you can kind of give an overall rating for the day based on how you are feeling about you succeeding or potentially not succeeding in those habits. So I've just done check marks and a rating from 1 to 10, but you can alter that however you see fit. And so I did this how it would be on a weekly scale. You can also adapt this to a monthly if you wanted to. So that is number 8, habit and mood scale. Number 9 is mood stats. So this is doing the same thing. It's kind of giving a scale from 1 to 10, but it's also associating an emotion with it. So, for example, the happy face is either feeling happy, good, excited. The sad face is sad, hurt, upset, bad. The ant face is blah, annoyed, or frustrated. And the whatever face is okay, content, or whatever. So associating different emotions with those faces. And then you can mark the total for the overall month. So that would be how many times did you have a happy face? How many times did you have a sad face in the entire month? And then using the scale from 1 to 10, mark what the average rating was for the entire month for your mood. And then because there was space, I also added a little space to do a monthly review in terms of how your mood was in the overall month. Were there things that affected you in that month? Can you write them down? Can you journal about it? Having a little space to do that and like kind of tap into why your totals were the way that they were. You know, maybe you were going through a traumatic time and you need to just journal it out, right? Or maybe it was one of the best months of your lives and you can say, hey, this is why. Like, I had so much support from my family. We had an amazing experience. We went on vacation, blah, 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 blah. So that is the idea behind that, doing a daily rating from 1 to 10, and then your overall mood for the day, how many happy faces, how many sad faces by the end of the month, and then your average rating from 1 to 10 for the entire month, and then journaling why you felt the way that you felt in that month. And last but not least is a weekly line graph. So we have spaces for each day of the week so that you can write your task list, all that kind of stuff. And then down here at the bottom, it's one of those ideas because 7 spaces, not so fun to mark out for a bullet journal. It's a lot easier to mark out 8 spaces. So having something to fill in that 8 space, I did a mood tracker. So again, this is a rating from 1 to 10, and then you assess that rating for each day of the week, and then you can see how the line graph works out by the end of the week. So those are all 10 types of mood trackers. I'm going to flip through them one more time just so that you can take another look or get some more inspiration. Again, I have those other mood tracker videos that I will link in the description down below if you are looking for something different. But that is what I've got for you today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone.